Hello, witches. Yes, indeed. It is Wednesday. So it is time for the Witches Movie Coven. Grab your goat, grab a really big drink because we're going to talk about movies. We're going to talk about witches and movies, movies with witches and witchy movies all around. We are glad you are here. Tell your friends, invite them on in. Let us introduce ourselves. I am Patty Negri, one of your hosts. You might know me from my regular podcast, The Witching Hour, or from all sorts of paranormal television, including Ghost Adventures and a lot of YouTube. And this is my favorite place to be, especially on a Wednesday. This is Black Phillip. This is Black Phillip. And let us move us over to the handsome and fabulous always, Richard Leal Lillard.
I am Richard Leal. Richard Leal is one name, not two. If I were just Richard, I'd be a. That's right. Jason Mankey is not here, so I can tell my jokes. I'm a psychic medium. I used to be a psychic small, but I gained some weight. Unlike all other psychic mediums, they're all doom and gloom or love and light. I'm a happy medium. That being said, I am well known all over the world. Ghost Adventures with Patty, University of Magicus with Patty. I am right here with Patty. I am a little bit of everywhere. But also, if you would like to sleep with me, you can go right over, maybe here, wherever it is. You can go right here, join the coven. You can grab a pillow. You can sleep with me right over here at Mystery Control. You could normally get into Patty's panties, but those are on back order right now, so you're just gonna have to wait for that. But you could get quotes. You can get Bro Witch. You can get books. You can get Heather Green's books. You just come and join the coven. Also, hit the like, the subscribe, all of the comments are right over there. We are watching. We thank you so much. It helps us to continue to give great programming for people like you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We are waiting for Heather. She is rebooting and will be here, but let's move it on to the glamorous Courtney Buckley.
Hi, that's me, Courtney Buckley, ghost bait on Scared and Alone. And I saw someone in the comments say, welcome back to Oz. No, thank you. But we'll talk about that later, I'm sure.
Thank you very much. And you might recognize this beautiful face. He is one of our regular fill-ins, but he's not a fill-in. We just love him. Chad Hatter. Welcome, Chad.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to talk about this movie. I have a lot of things to say that are probably going to catch people off guard. And I'm very thankful that you guys thought of me, and I'm so excited. I'm so happy to be here, and I want to show everyone I now finally have a Black Phillip of my own. Because the producers of this lovely program were kind enough to send it to me along with the gaudiest necklace in all of Christendom, which I will not be wearing. Because I don't know where I put it, but I'm really happy to be here. So thank you guys so much for thinking of me.
You have to put it on your goat.
Yeah, it's Bling Phillip. It's not Black Phillip. It's Bling Phillip.
See mine?
Oh, it goes on the goat. Okay. Okay. You keep introducing people. I'm gonna go find it. Hold on.
At least we're not in the freezer this time, but I am looking forward to maybe getting there because it's hot.
Honey, the night is young.
Oh, Chad, you make all my dreams come true.
While we wait for Chad and Black Phillip and Bling, she made it. The beautiful, the amazing, the so intelligent Heather Green. Welcome, Heather.
Can you actually hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I won't get my other microphone. I've had a little tech difficulties here. And as you can see, my lighting is like really bright right now. I didn't have time to adjust anything, but here I am. I made it. My computer agreed to participate tonight. So here we are. So hi, hold on a second. I didn't grab the, I'm a little discombobulated tonight. So I'm assuming we're introducing. So I am Heather Green. I'm the author of Lights, Camera, Witchcraft, which is a critical history of witches in American film and television. All things witchy in movies and television. And I am also a journalist covering things occult, as well as an editor at Llewellyn Worldwide. And I am being blinded by the lights in my face right now, so I apologize. I'm going to try to adjust that when somebody else is talking, but I'm very happy
like
to
a
be
deuce
here.
And the owner of the night.
What was that? Sing that again.
It didn't take long.
Wrapped up like a deuce and the owner of the night.
There you go. So I'm gonna let somebody else people. I try to get this lighting out of my face so I can see everybody.
Okay, well, I will pick it back up. And Jason Mankey is at 30,000 feet, but he is here with us at 30,000 feet, flying somewhere as he does. Actually, you and Richard Lael just got to meet live and nationwide. We've seen some fabulous photos. But anyways, today's movie is Oz the Great and Powerful from 2013. Hopefully you guys all watched it several times over. Perhaps it's, yes, indeed, a Disney film. And just in case you didn't watch it, or in case you can't remember it, or perhaps you blocked it out, Richard Lael, do you have a lovely unbiased synopsis of this film?
I have something. I have something. Okay, the film, Oz the Great and Powerful. So picture it, Sicily, 1905, in Kansas, 1905. And so a sex pest, a
Thank
creep,
you. Yes.
and a
thank
con
you.
man go on a balloon ride, and then when they land, a woman says, "Hello, wizard, you are the wizard," because they're all the same person. So this creep, this sex pest, this con man end up by leaving the circus in 1905 Kansas, getting struck by a tornado and landing in Oz. And then, I don't know, dolls, flying monkeys. One witch thinks that the other witch is. So Mila Kunis, all I could hear was Family Guy. That's all I could hear. So Meg from Family Guy falls in love with the sex pest. Her sister is also the actual wicked witch, but then of course there's Glenda, who's the good witch, but everyone thinks she's the bad witch, but she's actually the only one who's really a witch. I don't know. Cons, illusions, flaming pile of dog excrement. I don't know. The balloon goes down, and then of course the sex pest says that he'll be there for when the witches come back. Oh, by the way, Mila Kunis is turned into some green Shrek looking thing for whatever reason. I don't know. That's it. It was 2 hours. I saved you all of that time. I promise you. I saved you all that time.
Thank you. Thank you. Wizard of Ozzy. So now that we completely understand this film, maybe there's a little bit more. Heather Green, do you have 5 more things that we might know about this film?
Yes. I love listening to the nuances and in the voices today about this movie, because this is very exciting for me, because I can't wait to hear everyone's opinion, because I'm guessing. But I'm going to give you some facts about it. So this first basics, it came out in 2013. The budget was quite high, but normal for a blockbuster, which is what Disney expected, 200 million budget. The box office for to date is 235 million. Opening weekend it did 79. Most of that, it's half is domestic. So it's done fairly well. It did fairly well enough to cover its budget. It's the third Oz film Disney made. It was directed by Sam Raimi, who we'll get to in a second. It was filmed in Michigan, actually, at least part of it. It is part CGI, part practical, and also let's see. So it was written by David Lindsay Abair. He's a Pulitzer Prize, so he helped write the script. He had a lot of awards. He wrote Shrek the Musical. He had a lot of Broadway stuff, which of course you know I love to bring up. Shrek the Musical, Kimberly Akimbo, a lot of things like that. It was originally a story by Mitchell Kapner, and he said he missed the boat because he decided to write the story after Wicked came out. Oh, by the way, Wicked, we'll bring that up again in a second. But let's talk about the director, Sam Raimi. We've heard his name before here. So Sam Raimi is one of our producers' most beloved directors. We've talked about Sam Raimi in Drag Me to Hell. We reviewed that film. We reviewed The Gift, which is a great film. We've also reviewed Army of Darkness. Sam Raimi is known for The Evil Dead and Army of Darkness first and foremost, of course, and the Spider-Man movies, Doctor Strange, and also directed For the Love of the Game. So Sam Raimi is a name in Hollywood, and here is an unfortunate one of Sam Raimi's films. This is his first 3D film, and he did this film. He said he loved it. He was attracted to it because he loved that the characters have a love for each other, and he also loved the idea of Oz, in this case, the Wizard of Oz, saying that we are all broken, lonely, but we have within us the thing that makes us complete. And these are the kind of the elements that he liked about the script, about the idea of doing this film. Okay, so we give him that. Let's talk about context for a second now. Number 3. So why this film? Why in 2014? Why in 2013? Why did this film come out at this period of time? First of all, let's mark that 2014 was the 75th anniversary of The Wizard of Oz. So there are a lot of Oz-related properties that were produced during this period of time. You have the Wicked Witch of the West appearing in Once Upon a Time. You have a bunch of cartoons. You have a lot of 75th anniversary Oz stuff going on at this point in time, which is important because this is also the point in time when witch films become really popular. 2011 starts off, but really 2013 we hit the stride. We have Beautiful Creatures. We have Coven, Horror Story Coven. We have Salem, the show. We have lots and lots of witch stuff really starting then, especially witch films that recant stories that are folk tales, fairy tales, stories we know. So of course, Oz being 75 years old, meaning the movie Oz being 75 years old, and then of course this interest in witch films of this sort was perfect. It was a perfect congruence for a movie like this to come out. Now, why didn't this happen at the 50th anniversary? Because 50th anniversary was 1989. Witch films were popular, but you're not going to make a movie about a witch trying to kill and harm a child in the middle of the Satanic Panic and think it's going to do well. So they did not do it in 1989. And of course, let's talk about Wicked for a second. Wicked was already out, and so as the writer said, I missed the boat when he was thinking about writing this in 2003 when the musical Wicked came out. Oh, I missed the boat, I'm not going to do it. But then they came to him at this point in time and said, will you do it? And he said, I'll do it. And so here you go. We can compare Wicked to this in a few minutes later. So let's talk about the actors. James Franco, we've mentioned. He was in Spider-Man, Eat, Pray, Love, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. He's pretty well known. Unfortunately, he's known probably more so for some allegations that came up in 2018, SA allegations that kind of haunt him. He has disappeared from acting, as far as I know. He settled the lawsuit. He was not their first choice for this role. They wanted Robert Downey Jr. first, and then they tried Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp was already committed to another piece. There was no, so here you go. We have James Franco. Mila Kunis, best known probably for the 70s show, or at least that's where we saw her originally, most of us. She has been in Wake Up Dead Man. If you've seen that, that's a Glass Onion movie. That's those movies. And I loved her in Bad Mom. That is where I love the Bad Mom movie. So she's great in that movie. But that's where another place you know her. Michelle Williams, also known first and foremost for a TV show where she got started, Dawson's Creek. Anyone watch Dawson's Creek back in the day? Nobody watched Dawson's Creek. Well, that's where she started out. She was in The Greatest Showman. She was in Venom, Brokeback Mountain, a bunch of things that she's been around. Let's see. Rachel Weisz, of course, The Other Witch, Mummy, Lovely Bones, which is a great book if you haven't read it. Whistleblower, Black Widow, and she actually got an Academy Award nomination for the movie The Favorite. She's a British actress. She's been in a ton of things. Bruce Campbell has been, of course, in the Raimi films. We've seen him before. And Zach Braff is known for Scrubs. There's a number of other actors. Joey King, she did the China Girl voice. If you had the fortunate or unfortunate time to watch The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, which I have seen episodes of, she was in that. And as the Raimi, as Sam Raimi does, sometimes his cast members are incidentally his family members. His daughter was in this, and his brother Ted was in this as well. So there's a number of other actors. Those are just kind of an overview. Let's go to number 5, my final one. This was a top secret film called Brick originally. Nobody wanted anyone to know they were doing this because they were afraid that another studio would come up with an Oz backstory for the witches before they did. Of course, this was done after Wicked was already on stage, so they were afraid that the Wicked movie would come before. So this was a super secret thing until they had to get far enough along where it couldn't be super secret anymore. But it was originally called Brick, super secret. And again, they had to, when they were producing this, hold on a second. So when they were producing this, they eventually were running into a lot of copyright problems because the original was meant to be a prequel to the movie rather than the books. But of course, the books were out of the public domain, but the movie is not out of the public domain. The movie will not be out of the public domain until 2035. So they kept running into copyright issues. They even had to change the color of the green skin. They had to make sure they didn't step on the toes or do anything that would conflict with the movie, that would violate the copyrights of the movie. And they had to stick with the content of the books. And this was actually a surprise, according to the articles I read, to Sam Raimi, who didn't realize at periods of time, and they had to go back and change things to make sure when legal said, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. So they did do that a lot. I thought it was interesting about the color of the skin because in the end, green skin for a witch is ultimately the property of MGM. It's ultimately the property of the movie because green skin was never done before for that movie. So, but I guess they let that go. But they didn't have ruby slippers. So that is my basics of this movie. And now I'd love to hear what everybody thinks about it before I give you my review, and I can't wait to give that to you.
Oh, good. All right. Courtney?
I have more information.
Go, Chad. Go,
Okay.
Chad.
So I've read the original script before Sam Raimi got attached, and the original script is infinitely better because the original script is not trying to line up with the MGM movie. It is entirely based on the books. The big final battle at the end actually included enemies that are from the books, particularly the Growlywog, which I was really, really partial to. But the heroes also were characters that show up later. They had an entire army of paper cutouts from Miss Cut-and-Clip, and she's one of my favorite characters from the original books. And the original script, which is very difficult to find, is just infinitely better. I love the production design of this movie, except for where they're trying to make it look MGM. But I think of every Emerald City that's ever been on screen ever, this one is the best one, hands down, and I'm including Wicked in that.
And he's gone.
Who hexed him? Who put him in the freezer?
Courtney?
I didn't move.
That's just me. Didn't hex him. Oh my God, he's gone black. He's just missing completely.
Once you go black,
Rigid
Chad will be back.
Chad will be back.
Okay.
There he is.
See?
He put himself in the freezer after he criticized Wicked.
I know. Oh God. Oh, they know. They know. Wherever they are, they know. Anyway. But like, yeah, best Emerald City, hands down. It glows. It's gorgeous. I have notes about the costumes. I think of any Aussian film that's ever been done, this one, the extras are just phenomenal. When you see all the different peoples of Oz in Glinda's courtyard, and the Munchkins, and you've got the Tinkers and the Gillikins and the Quadlings, and everyone is just, they're gorgeous. They're done up beautifully. Hair and makeup really just bent over backwards, making sure that every single character was a fully formed being, and the wigs especially require a shout out because they're so good. Everything Glinda wears is trash. So the Wicked Witch, the design of the Mila Kunis Wicked Witch is, I love it. She looks like Margaret Hamilton if she were that's my replica that I did with a friend of mine, but she looks like Margaret Hamilton going through her Hot Topic phase. And she's got the wimple, she's got the cowl that was originally designed for Gail Sondergaard, which I thought was a really interesting choice that they went that direction with her. I the wizard's costume does something really interesting if you ever want to watch the movie again for whatever reason. But if you pay close attention at the beginning of the movie, his outfit is dingy and it's covered in rips and tears, and his tie is limp, and his hat is kind of dusty. But as the movie progresses, his outfit slowly heals itself, and so by the end he's very polished and put together. And this was something that they actually did in Return to Oz, where at the beginning of the movie Dorothy's costume is dingy and looks like it's had many, many washings, but then when she wakes up in Oz, her colors are bright, her ribbons are clean. And so it was nice that they did that little thing. The majority of all of the costumes were designed by not a costume designer, but a concept artist named Michael Kutch, who he's the one sort of responsible for the look of a lot of the characters, but the execution was done by Gary Jones. And if you've seen any of the Princess Diaries movies, he's the one that oversaw costumes for that. So he knows how to do a gown, and he knows how to do a gown very well, which is what makes Glinda's costume so upsetting. What else? I'm so close. Oh my god, I feel like I had more that I wanted to say. Okay, I'm done for now. I'll jump in later. Oh, the last thing. If you notice, Mila Kunis has a glowing ruby ring that every time she activates her magic, it glows. And they make lots of comments all throughout the movie about how she's more powerful than her sister. And because there's the moment where she breaks the big bubble around Glinda's little kingdom, and she says the Wicked Witch shouldn't be able to get through the wall, and he's like, is somebody helping her? And she's like, well, she shouldn't be able to get through on her own, and she gets through on her own because she's so powerful. And then at the end of the movie, the sister's talisman, the magical necklace, breaks. And the reason why they did that was because they were setting up the ruby slippers. In the sequel, what was going to happen was she was going to take the power of the ruby ring, break it into two, cut her own power in half to create the shoes for her sister, thereby setting up in the MGM movie why she wants the shoes so bad, is because if she can get them back, she can restore her full power and go back to being the most powerful witch in Oz. And I only know that because I had the extreme honor to have a conversation with one of the people who worked on this movie. And I asked him, I said, you announced a trilogy. Why are you not doing, like, when is that going to happen? And they said, that'll never happen. Like, everyone signed on for a trilogy, but the trilogy will never happen. And they never gave a reason why. But that was why she has a ruby ring, is they were setting up the ruby slippers later on. And so I just find that a little fascinating. And the entire subplot of making Glinda a princess of Oz, I mean, garbage.
Thank you. That was beautiful. And yes, thank you for all this info. Between you and Heather, we learned so much. This is great. Courtney, you look like you want to say something.
I mean, there's a lot of things that I would like to say. Not all of them are family friendly, so let me pick and choose. For one, I had not seen this movie until today, and seen is a very loose term for what I did when I watched it, because it did not hold my attention in any way, shape, or form, and I would have rather watched The Witch Who Came from the Sea and paid attention to that than this. But there we have it. It's amazing to me, all of the things I missed while my eyes were looking at my computer screen while it was playing, because I got none of this because I didn't retain any of it. So I didn't see a ruby ring, not even one time. But I watched the movie from beginning to end, and I paused it. Like if someone was talking to me, I did pause it, but I didn't retain anything. Richard Lale, thank you for calling a spade there in the beginning, because one of my first thoughts upon watching it was like, oh, okay, like we're just being so loud about it, about being like the worst person on the planet. I was very excited when he was going straight into the tornado, even though I had an inkling of what was going to happen. I would love in any iteration of, and famously not a fan. I'm not a fan of The Wizard of Oz. Come at me if you would like to. I don't love it like you guys do. But in any iteration of an Oz movie, I would love to see like anyone have it together. It feels like someone, like no one can ever figure out who the bad guy is. Everyone is so susceptible to believing word of mouth about who the other bad guy is, but it's really not that bad guy. Like maybe if we just like, I don't know, put a thought together, we could, or like thought for ourselves, we could maybe figure it out. Just a thought. So yeah, I loved it. It was great.
I want to say real quick, I do think if you ever did want to kind of polish up your perception of the Oz lore, go back and read the books. They are very, very, very easy to read, and all of these problems that you describe do not exist in the books. These are
See,
these are
I would
problems that were
probably,
they were problems that were created by the MGM movie trying to cut for time and combining characters that caused a lot of plot holes. And because every Oz property that ever happens has to ride the coattails of that fracking movie, the same issues persist in everything that follows because they're trying so hard to be that movie when the original lore is so rich and so varied and has a completely different set of plot holes because L. Frank Baum loved to ignore his own continuity, which is fine. But yeah, if you're gonna have a character who is literally written to be the absolute worst, and then his redemption isn't a redemption, it's just there's so many ways this movie could have been so good, but the thing that I will never ever forgive it for is three powerful women who very easily could rule this kingdom on their own, simping after the worst human being on the planet, and then not ever doing anything with it. Because you could have easily, there is a world where, yeah, he becomes this thing that the Wicked Witches thinks is real to simply keep them at bay. There is a way you could have done that nobly. There is a way you could have done that and had it work. Having the romance between him and Glinda means nothing because literally 2 days prior he was hooking up with Mila Kunis. Like, why does there need to be a romantic subplot? And fun fact, in the original script, when he hits on Theodora when he first meets her, he goes in for a kiss, she pushes him away and says no. And in the original script, she tells him, "You're a human and I'm a witch. If I kiss you, you will die." And so there's a barrier set up at the very beginning of the story that he cannot hook up with these women no matter how hard he tries. And so from that moment on, there is no stupid romantic subplot, and it his character in the original script was definitely much more noble and better because he wasn't so much a con man as much as he was this buffoon who was just trying his best and failing at everything, and it read better because it worked that he fell into this situation and was proclaimed the wizard and figured out how to make it work. But having Glinda, who is literally the Good Witch of the North, be party to any of this, not, are you kidding me? She's what? What? No. No, 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 no. 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 No, no. No. Uh no.
and I think that's absolutely what took me out. I think from the get-go is having to watch James Franco play James Franco. I don't care. I don't care what fake like redemption arc they're gonna do for it. If one, I'm all for a witch movie with a strong woman in it. That's what I want to watch. And the minute we're simping for a walking red flag, I can't. It's like unwatchable to me. And I have never liked the character of the wizard in any way, shape, or form. Not even like love to hate him. He just is the worst to watch. And I think that's also part of why I don't like the Oz franchise. Having said that, I do feel like I need to clarify that I love Wicked the musical on stage. Not the movie so much, but I do love the stage production and I love the songs. But this was just like we had our text thread earlier, and I think it was Jason said I was going to hex Heather for hating on this movie. But in reality, for science and only science, I would love to know who put this movie on the list, because that may or may not be who I put in my freezer later.
So, can I
I love
just
that I've
jump in?
created a trend.
So in my book, I actually have a section on, I do have a closer look, which is one of the features of my book, and I do talk about this, and I talk about this as the deep misogyny in this movie that is horribly troubling. But aside from that, Chad, I just want to point out one thing that you said, is that you said look back at the books, because all these movies they failed because of the Oz movie. Because of the 1939 Oz movie. There has yet to be a movie that has been based on the books, with the exception of maybe The Wiz, that has been successful based on the books. Nobody's been able to capture this. Wicked and The Wiz have been the most successful of capturing the books over 1939. And I agree with you, the 1939 movie has overtaken The Wizard of Oz in the zeitgeist. But if you look before that, all the movies based on the books were mostly either moderate to failures, complete failures. And after that, this movie, and then The Wiz, of course, Tony Award winning, Wicked, of course, now has made it. But all the other movies, even like The Return to Oz and the cartoons, moderate to failures. So
But do you know what was not a moderate failure? Miss Piggy as the Wicked Witch. That was the best. That was like Oscar winner.
Let's not even moderate to failures. That counts as a moderate to failure. But either way, I think it is. There has been yet, and that's a challenge I put out there. There has not been anyone who has been able to capture it purely for the movie, not for a musical, to be able to capture the original books in a way that's, that like we're talking about. I don't care. People love The Return to Oz. People love some of these movies, but there has not yet been, other than Wicked and The Wiz, there has not been something that, there's Miss Piggy. We knew that was coming, didn't we?
Okay, I take it back. That's the only Wizard of Oz movie that I like.
But,
So you should know, Courtney,
I
have
want
to
to go back
tell
to
you.
the misogyny.
I'm going to interrupt just real fast to tell Courtney, The Muppets Wizard of Oz is the closest adaptation to the book of The Wizard of Oz that has ever been done, even though it also has major deviations from the plot, but it has elements in it that have never been done on screen before, particularly the Kaleidas, even though they are played by Waldorf and Statler, but that's neither here nor there. And it is available to watch on YouTube. It's very hard to find, but it is on YouTube.
We did it here. We reviewed it here.
Oh, you did? I have to go back and find that episode and watch it.
We did.
I suggested it. I had never seen it.
I can't remember how I voted on that episode, but I am here today after having been force-fed all of the other Oz movies that I've been force-fed to say
you have not been force-fed all of them.
Well, the ones that I have been force-fed, that is the best. And I take back whatever I said. If it was wands down, I take it back, and I vote wands up for what Muppets anything, because it's better than everything else.
Well,
all right, everybody. I know that everybody has lots to say. I don't have lots and lots to say, but everything that you are saying is true. The misogyny, these three strong women, and what the are you doing? But I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. It kept. I was working while I was doing it. I'm not like with clients, like, oh, let me watch. But I would laugh a lot here and there. They're little quirks or little comedic attempts and things. And I followed it, and I saw the flash, and it was pretty. Hey, James Franco. Hey, everything you guys are saying is true, except that I've hated a million things we've watched more than I've hated this. I didn't hate it.
Wow.
Oh, that's
well,
it.
Go ahead.
I do have on the topic of the three strong women who go into to support the charlatan saying, "Oh well, the prophecy has to be fulfilled, and you may not be a real wizard, but they believe in you, and if they believe in you, then it can happen, and you're not what we expected, but you are what we need." It reminded me. So there's a YouTuber I watch, Daniela, the quilting cult lady. Love her, love her, love her, love her. She's the author of Quilting of America. I mean, the Culting of America. And she talks about how in all of the cults, there's always, and forgive me, there's always a skinny white woman who simps for the cult leader. In every single cult, there's a skinny white woman who will say, "Oh no, listen to the man, listen to him. He's the right one. He's the right one for the job." Whether it be Caroline Levitt, whether it be Paula Kane White, whether it be in every cult, there's a skinny white woman who sort of in North Korea. She's Asian, but she's the pink dress lady who goes out and says, "The great leader is doing so wonderfully. Don't worry, he's fixing all the problems. Your food is fine. Everything is great." In every cult, there is a skinny white woman who simps for the cult leader. Every single one.
You're not
Well,
wrong.
No. I would like to talk about the misogyny for a second from a narrative perspective, if you guys are up for it. So my complaint was, again, the simping for this guy, this con man. Let's just forget about James Franco for a second. Let's just talk about in the movie itself. The backstory that they developed for the Wicked Witch here was that she became the green-clad Wicked Witch that we know because she was scorned by a man. And that is what the start of the problem. So here she is becoming this powerful witch, realizing her power, so to speak, because she was scorned by a man. Now, if we look at witch films and the story of the witch, it's usually about the autonomy and the power of the woman. Allegorically speaking, most of these stories talk about a woman's power. A woman, it's about gender. It's about gender in society. It's about a woman's autonomy, and the fear of that or the embracing of it. So here you have a story that's telling us that the woman only finds her power after she's been scorned by a man. And what kind of power does she develop? She develops a power that is heartless, that is evil, because she's turned on society because she's been scorned by a man. And that, to me, is absolutely insulting and is against the story of the witch. It's against the narrative of the witch who, yes, she often finds her power because, well, she's turned 16, she's gotten her period, or she's been scorned by a man in the sense that she's been raped, but she doesn't, like in Maleficent's case, or in Salem's case, where she's been scorned by a man, but she doesn't find a power and become heartless and evil. She finds her own power and then turns that to become a better person. She does whatever she needs to do. She becomes literally heartless and cold. She becomes alien and green. And so for that to be the backstory of one of the most powerful witch figures in our culture is insulting to me. And that really bothered me deeply. To have that, and it was even more pronounced because the power that the evil witch has had came from their bodies, was natural power, whereas Glinda, the good witch, the simping cult leader girl, her power came from a wand. And that is the case in The Wizard of Oz as well, the original movie. Her power comes from the wand. And the wand is how she uses her power. When she loses the wand, she doesn't have power. The wand was given to her by her father. So in essence, the power that Glinda has is given to her by a man, a male figure. The power that the two evil witches have come from their own bodies, of their own power. Again, that is insulting. It is against the story of the witch that we know it, all the stories. And it is misogynistic, and it is just a terrible storytelling. And that's why Wicked will always be the better backstory for the Wicked Witch of the West. That is the backstory we needed, not this one. So I have deep problems with it from a feminist perspective, and I did not like I wanted to love this movie so much. I did not like Mila Kunis as in her character. Yes, the I agree with Chad. There's some beautiful details in this movie. There's some beautiful costumes. I love the way they designed Mila Kunis. I was in love with the posters. All of that stuff is great. But the rest of this movie just tanked. And I don't know if it was Sam Raimi's rewrite. I don't know if, because Sam Raimi did a lot of the rewriting. I saw that. He did a ton of tearing up of the story. I don't know if it was the implication of the second writer, the one who won the Pulitzer. He came in and added feeling to it. I don't know who messed it up. I don't know what was in the original, but this was a misogynistic mess that did not fit with the rest of what was going on with witch narratives at the time. And that's probably one of the reasons why it did not resonate and hasn't come back. And thankfully it has not come back. So there you go. One's down. I'm not going to even
And
wait.
weren't you kind of creeped out too by the way that he was in the circus? He's cheating with 2 or 3 different women, and then when he's cavorting with the strong man's wife, and then he ends up by trying to cavort with all 3 of the witches, and then he meets the China girl. I was a little creeped out on that because she portrays herself as a child, and I was so afraid that I was afraid. I have to admit, I was afraid where that plot also might have gone. I'm glad it didn't, but it creeped me out.
This movie
I
came out
actually-
before the allegations, by the way, so nobody would have thought
Not
about it
even
at the
about
time.
James Franco. Not even about
Okay,
James
okay.
Franco.
Okay.
About the character of Oz. This character, after cavorting with all of these women, carousing and cavorting and being misogynistic and a douchebag, pardon the language, and then he goes to fix this little China doll, and the sudden attraction that she sort of portrayed, I was a little creeped out, and then I saw that they sort of backed that off, which was good.
As a fan of the original books, though, I do have to say I love that we finally got to see the China country on screen, because
Yeah.
that's a whole, there's a whole chapter in the original Wizard of Oz book where they go through the dainty China country and they meet all the people who are made of China, and so it was nice to be able to see that on screen. And what's really funny is Disney went into production on this right after they did Alice in Wonderland. And so the majority of the set pieces for the dainty China country were recycled from the scenes where Alice is tiny. All that China pattern, Richard Lale, did you recognize that China pattern?
I absolutely did. Chadwick has that China pattern.
I
By the
have
by.
an entire dinner set of that exact China pattern because Richard Lale bought it for me.
Oh, that is so cute. Well, now I did not get weird vibes on the China doll. To me, that he was very more parent-like, adult-like with the child. So I agree with all the horrible misogyny and all of that. But I did not freak out about the China doll. She was a feisty little China doll, but I never saw that as like he's going to pick up on the China doll. No, but I mean, and I agree with everything you guys are saying about how horrible it is. But just without overthinking it and watching this 2-hour movie while I was working, I didn't hate it.
I
Didn't
do want
mind
to
it.
say,
You didn't mind it.
Didn't mind
I
it.
do want to say too, I love the design of Mila's broomstick. I think that if you can't do Margaret Hamilton's broom, but you want to find a way, see there I'm leaning up against the Elphaba's broom from the Broadway show. But if you have to do a riff on Margaret Hamilton's broom, I thought the way that they did it was great. Yeah, that one where it's a metal brace holding the straw in, and the second she grabs it, the whole thing burns to black. These are photos of my replicas of the costumes that I did for some friends of mine, and I love the way that I executed the Wicked Witch's costume. But I have to say, we've ever since Wicked started to become more prevalent in the zeitgeist, she has stopped wearing it to conventions because everyone thinks that she's Elphaba. And she finally reached a point where she's like, Elphaba would not be wearing leather. I'm not Elphaba. And so, but she finally abandoned it because everyone thought she was Elphaba, and she just finally stopped trying to correct everyone. I actually, when I cosplayed the wizard when the movie first came out, I acquired the China doll, and I rigged up a thing where she rides on my shoulder. So before I saw the movie, and when I thought he was going to be a hero, and I made the wizard costume, I had my own little China doll that rode around on my shoulder, and so she lives with my my doll collection in my room. So she just hangs out up there as a relic of what might have been.
Hmm.
Mm. I love
Mm.
that.
Beautiful.
What's
Okay.
everyone doing for dinner? Are we going out after this? Like, what's?
Let's go out for dinner. Let's go out for dinner. So moving on. Do we have any quotes, Miss Courtney?
Well, I only have two,
Oh.
because I barely paid attention. So, one of them I thought was apropos for several of us here in the Witches Movie Coven, where he said, "No dolls on the witch hunt," and I thought that was pretty on the nose. And then there was one quote that he said in the beginning, and I heard it and I stopped the movie and I thought, okay, this is what I will say every single time that I do not want to do something from now on. So every time someone suggests an Oz movie, this is what I'm going to say. He said, "I would make her walk, but unfortunately, there is a distemper in the ether tonight." So from now on, every time anyone tells me that I have to watch an Oz movie, I can't because there's a distemper in the ether tonight. And I was unable to do it. So that's going to become part of my vernacular. And those are my two quotes.
Thank you very much. That is a good. Now, I don't think we have a Mankey movie moment unless we get it from an airplane. It would have been fabulous, though, whatever it would have been.
Can I interject with something real
Please
quick?
interject, please.
Okay. So Richard Lale and I have had lots of conversations about how a lot of people in the world are very lazy and very stupid. And there was an incident that happened several years ago where the Bank of England was minting coins to celebrate the anniversary of the publishing of Alice in Wonderland. And they were promoting how these coins were going to have illustrations from the book on one side and quotes from the book on the other, but they did not actually research the book. They just Googled Alice in Wonderland quotes, and the quotes that they pressed into these thousands of coins that they made were incorrect. They were random nonsense quotes that were incorrectly attributed to Alice in Wonderland. And because I love all things Oz, my friends are constantly getting me little trinkets, little knickknacks, things like that. And so there's a company called Erstwilder that a couple years back did a whole line of Wizard of Oz themed ornaments, and I had just cosplayed Glinda. And so it is an ornament of Glinda based on the Billy Burke Glinda. But what's really interesting about this is when you pop the lid off of the box, there's a quote on the inside. And this quote is from the movie Oz the Great and Powerful. Glinda never says this in any of the books, and she does not say it in the MGM movie. And forever, this company is stuck with this little quote because instead of actually doing research, someone Googled. And it bugs the crap out of me because could have been good, could have been so good, could have been great even. But yeah, and so nowadays, if you search online for Wizard of Oz quotes, you get a lot of quotes from this movie that people always love to take and put on shirts and put on things, and it says blah 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 L. Frank Baum, and I want to kill myself.
Well, now we share the same sentiment when it comes to this movie because I thought the same thing as my eyes were forced to look upon it. So,
Can I note something else about Oz generally? So I do a workshop, and I just recently did it at Sacred Space, where I talk about the witches specifically as they've started from the original books through to Elphaba, through to this year. And I talk about the changes, and I talk about their narrative changes. I talk about their various costume changes, why they look in different ways at different periods. I talk about all of the bad movies and why that evolved and how they became what they are today. Because easily, if you look at the Wicked Witch of the West, particularly Glinda II, they are the most recognizable witches in American pop culture. If anyone thinks about a witch in pop culture, the first thing they're going to think about is the Wicked Witch of the West, and now Elphaba. And that's just the way it is. Glinda second, possibly. And so it's a really interesting story. In this past workshop that I did, I was able to show everybody that was there a sneak peek, a little bit of a restored version of one of the silent films that had one of the original witches in it, had Mombi in it. That is His Majesty the Scarecrow, and I'm friends with somebody who is restoring this amazing silent film that was Baum's first of his films that he created himself, the second Oz film. And it was really fascinating. We had the sound going, we had the piano playing because it was part of the recording, and it was all the restored version. It was a little clip of the witch doing all the witch stuff. People loved it. It was so much fun. So if you're interested in Oz, if you're interested in the restoration of the original films that came before the 1939 film, I urge you to look at the International Wizard of Oz Club. They have a website, and they take donations, and some of those donations will be going towards the restoration of this original film. And hopefully, if I do this Oz class another time or workshop another time, and you guys are there, anyone in the chat, if you're there when I'm doing it, please come and do it, because I'm going to keep showing that clip. And I really hope that we can preserve. I know there's some people that don't like Oz here in the group here in the Coven, but I do love Oz, and I love silent films, so I love the restoration of them generally. So if you are of the mind to go, that is, which one is that? That's not the one that was restored. I don't know which one that one is. But if you can look back at the old films, if you have the money and you have the time and you have the heart and you feel like giving a few shekels over to making it, that project is ongoing, and that's a really big Oz project. So thank you. That's my
Thank you. I would be for that, most definitely. So all right. Everything has been said that I think is going to be said. So now we get to vote. Wands, everyone. Wands up.
I forgot my wand, but I have been instructed by Jason Mankey to vote for him.
I've once again brought my urethra dilator to vote wands down for the misogyny.
Chad's face. He's like, what?
You
Oh, yeah.
want a urethra dilator?
Yes, because I collect oddities. So this is an antique urethra dilator, and it's not gentle. So
It might be going in the freezer after. Oh yeah, you're going in the freezer, Courtney.
Yep.
Oh,
there we go.
I can't, and I won't.
Okay. We have got down, double down, and 2 neutrals for Chad and myself.
Down the road.
Everybody, do we have a chat room? I've lost the chat room.
No, we do. Wands
I
up.
have
We got
wands
one
up.
wands up. We have a wands up.
Oh, I've got it back. My thing. Okay, wands up. Wands blah in the chat. Thank you, Richard. Wands halfway. We got a couple halfways. Hey, Marty. I mean, it had a few good things, not the people.
Oh, we're out of the freezer now.
Oh,
I wish that I had a video for you guys to hear how well the sound carries out of my fridge, because I can hear everything. It sounds like there's an entire like party going on in the freezer. It's funny as shit. It's the best. Okay. So, wand up for production design, wand down for everything else.
okay.
Agree.
So I'm leaving in the middle because it held my interest enough while I was doing another thing, and it had moments, and it was pretty. It was pretty. So what movie do we have next week?
Are you ready for this one?
I don't know.
Hansel and Gretel get baked.
Amazing. Also, I would like to share with everyone, perfect movie for this, I guess, but next Wednesday, when all of you in the chat and all of our Coven mates come together, I will be celebrating my 10-year soberversary.
Oh, yay! Congratulations!
Thank you. It's been a lot of hard work, A lot of times it's an everyday hard work, but it will be 10 years of every day on next Wednesday.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. Congratulations. Huge congratulations. That's good.
So bring your mocktails, guys,
Bring them on.
because it's happening.
We will celebrate for sure.
So Hansel and Gretel Get Baked. Do we know what year's from, or there's only one's going to be with that title? We're not going to.
There is only one, and it's streaming in a number of places. It's from 2013, about the same time as this movie was made.
Okay. So everybody, next week, Hansel and Gretel Get Baked. Does anybody have anything going on in the next week or two that we want to talk about? No. Heather, go.
Well, next Friday starts Spirit Northwest, which is a pagan conference in Portland. And so I will be there. I will be there talking to authors and talking to would-be authors and all kinds of stuff, having fun out in Portland. So if you're in the Portland area and looking for something to do next weekend, not this weekend, next weekend, please come to Spirit Northwest in Portland.
Beautiful. Thank you. Anybody else?
I don't have anything going on, but I had something really good happen that I'd like to talk about if I could for just a moment. My boyfriend has his 2-year soberversary in a couple of weeks. So, Courtney, prior to dating him, I wasn't aware of any of like how AA and everything worked. And being with him, I have now I'm learning about all of it. And he is a very modest, quiet sort who will not let me throw a big party for him, but I might anyway. But so that was the first thing, just to piggyback on what you said. But I also wanted to let you guys know that Universal Studios has hired me to create Elphaba's hat for the parks. So if you go to a meet and greet for Elphaba over the coming months, they're going to be using hats that actually I make. And I had a meeting recently to create Glinda's crown as well. So for the LA park, I'll be making all of Elphaba's hats and all of Glinda's crowns for the character meet and greets. And put it away, Courtney. It alarms Courtney. Send me your address. I will ship you a wand.
I have a wand, Chad.
Then use it.
That's a choice.
That was a choice. That was a choice.
Well, you know what, that honey, those glasses on you, just magic. They frame your face. You look great.
Well, thank you for that. I did almost choose the ones that were the Jeffrey Dahmer glasses, but nobody would let me, so I picked these ones instead. And I was very seriously considering the Jeffrey Dahmer ones, and I still regret it a little bit. But
all right.
But congrats to your boyfriend.
Congrats.
And
Congrats.
it's okay to not want to party. But it's also okay for you to recognize it in some way.
I'm gonna write him a little card, and probably I might make him a cake because he's got a sweet tooth that would rival Hansel and Gretel. So I am gonna do something very small to mark the occasion, because his AA group is gonna do something for him. So like I don't need to do anything. He'll be doing something with them. Yeah, for 2 years, and I've been with him now for a year and a couple of months, which just completely blows my mind that anyone would tolerate me. He doesn't fit in the freezer, so I have to be more creative when it comes to winning arguments, which we never argue, so I haven't really had to. But now I'm rambling. Patty, you talk now.
Okay, not this week, but next weekend, if you're anywhere near Atlantic City, New Jersey, I am going to be at AlterCon, the Great American Cryptid Expo. So we're going to have ghosts, cryptids, probably aliens, everything you want to see on the boardwalk in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Then the next week I'm going to Vegas. It's Vegas Vampire Weekend. So seances, VIP parties, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, except for everything that we post, which is everything on every social media. And then I'm heading for Pennhurst. We're getting into busy season, which is like the big kids these days of the Paracons. It's like 100,000 million billion people go, everybody from the paranormal. So I'm going to be doing the celebrity ghost hunt and doing merch and all sorts of fun things.
I love Pennhurst. You're gonna love it.
Yes, I have been there. I do love it. I'm going to put it's always cold when we go, for me anyway. So I'm going to have put on every outfit I own all at the same time. All my best protection and hid to Pencurse. I know you were just there with Elton and the guys, so can't wait. So anyway, so that's it. That's what I've got going. And of course, everybody, Wednesday, you got to come back here. Got to come back here. Everyone, tell your friends, invite them. Don't tell them they might get hexed on occasion.
I'll try really hard not to, especially if you bring mocktails to Hansel and Gretel Get Baked.
Okay. Thank you.
But I make no promises. I do have physical hexes as well as.
Oh,
It really is icky, Courtney.
I would like everyone to know not to mess with me. Okay, Jason, get better movie opinions except for this one. So talk about The Killing Tree again and see what happens. I know you're still.
Jason, Florida Pagan Gathering, 429 to 53 for go see where Jason is. So thank you, Tabitha. Thank you, Jason. So check it out. And I want an extra thank you for Tabitha, who is one of our Coven members. She comes on camera sometime, but she has this very important job of being an important part right here in our chat room, guiding, commenting, and doing everything. So she's running our chat room. So thank you, beautiful Tabitha. I thank her so many ways because she is me online. She is everything. We love you, Tabitha. So it is time. It is 7 or 10, depending on where you are. So we have one more thing to do, witches, and let's do it in our Oz best, whatever that means to us. 1, 2, 3.